What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Rewire. My name's Chris, if you haven't met me yet. So, did you know that your brain is actually wired to think negatively? It's crazy. And here, let me explain it, just a little bit about human evolution and how the brain works and all that. So using Dan Siegel's model of the brain again, I showed you this in another video. You got this part called the amygdala, right? Fight, flight, freeze mechanism. This part of your brain is the first major part to evolve, like when you're just in your mommy's womb, right? So, and this is very important as part of human survival. It is meant to let you remember bad things that happened, right? And this is important. So let's go back to the caveman days, which I like to do, and this was important back for them. So maybe they heard a rustling in the bush, and all of a sudden a lion jumped down. They're like, whoa. So every time they hear that rustling in the bush, that triggers something in them that says, wow, the last time this happened, it was danger, right? So your brain is already wired to be negative. That's what it's doing. Now, in this day and age, we don't have to deal with, these animals trying to hunt us down and kill us, right? Well, depending on what part of the world you live in. But it makes sense when you think about these other situations, like when we get nervous, when we get anxious, when we get in fear, right? For example, in my active drug addiction, I was fired a million times, like more times than I like to admit. Well, even today, whenever my phone rings, whenever I see the boss's name, my mind immediately says, what did I do wrong, right? Or whenever the boss says, hey, can we talk real quick? I'm like, oh my God, I am getting fired, right? Some of you, this might be when you're getting into a new relationship. It could be very scary because your mind is remembering how bad the heartache was of your last relationship, right? For other people, it could be different instances. Maybe, you get nervous going to the grocery store. Maybe you had a bad experience there. Another example I can give for myself is I got into a car accident at an intersection right by my house. Every time I go through that intersection, I feel my body tense up a little bit. I'm already hyper alert. I'm aware, right? Because my brain's telling me, remember that time you got into a car accident here, even though it was years ago. But here's the cool thing about it. And it's the reason why I call this show The Rewire. You can fix this, right? Not a permanent fix, but you can start working on it. You can start rewiring your brain and training it in a different way. Since our brains are naturally going to think of the negative, we need to start restructuring it. And the way we do this is with some simple mindfulness practices, right? One of the things is we need to start recognizing when we're happy, when we're excited, when we're okay, right? Sometimes everything is just fine and it's okay. And all we do is simply just close our eyes and sit back for a minute and just breathe. And we recognize this sensation in our body and just this feeling of being okay or being happy or excited, all right? That's one of the ways we do that. We need to catch ourselves in these moments where we're all right or we're happy, okay? The other thing that we need to do is start recognizing when we're maybe we're like on a scale of 1 to 10, we're at like an 8 or a 9 or even a 10 with how scared we are going into a situation. Well, once we get through that situation and we come out on the other side, it's important to do the same type of mindfulness where we sit there and just say, wow, I can remember how worried I was, but here I am, still standing, still alive, still okay, right? And that doesn't just have to be, maybe a job interview or getting called into the boss's office or anything. It could be major life events, right? Because a problem with a lot of us who deal with anxiety or depression or some of these strong mental illnesses is that when we get this feeling, we feel like this feeling is going to last forever. So we need to train our brain to remember that none of these feelings last forever. So whether you're going for a breakup and you're just crying for a week straight and you can't eat, you can't sleep, when you get through that, which you will, it's important to sit there and just recognize, wow, I got through that. Because then you're gonna start making these new connections in your brain. So when you go into the next relationship or you go into the next situation that was frightening the first time, your brain's gonna start having this little battle where it's like, okay, there is this negative time, but what about the positive time? And it starts to balance out, All right. So please start working on this. Start rewiring your brain, retraining your brain. It's very, very helpful. I even practice this with my son a lot. You know, kids are very scared to go into new situations, but he's starting to do better going into these new situations because he's able to be mindful that he got through the last situation okay. So if you like this video, if it helped you out, if you think it might be able to help somebody you know who's constantly in fear of these new situations or things happening, you know, like this video, share it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.